Hi, I'm Dr. Tyron Ellis, and welcome back to another episode of Can I Get a Witness? Just as a reminder, this platform is designed to address and to discuss theological topics and Christian doctrines and answer questions that a lot of Christians and non-Christians have about life and the Bible. Today, we're going to be closing out our series on world religion. If you remember, in our first episode, we talked about the 6 major religions in the world, which are Buddhism, Shintoism, Hinduism, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, or who we call the Muslims. And we were asking this question: can someone get to heaven through other religions, and is there salvation outside of the Christian faith? Then in our second episode, we talked about the 3 major religions that are in the world, which are Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. In our third episode, we went and discussed the differences between Judaism and Christianity. And if you remember, Judaism and Christianity, they share almost the same belief system until you get to the crossroad where the question is asked, who was Jesus? Then we took a short break, and I gave you a special treat. Shout out to my son, Anthony Ellis, for his preaching video. God bless him as he continued to grow in his ministry. So in episode 4, we had a special guest appearance from Muslim Air Force chaplain, Captain Rafael de la Antigua, who talked to us about what the Muslims believe. So in this week, we're going to close out the complete series and try to answer the question, can you get to heaven through other world religions, and is there salvation outside of the Christian faith? Now, the answer to that question really depends on who you're asking. See, most religions, with the exception of Judaism and Christianity, will probably answer that question with a yes. But now, Judaism and Christianity would say no, because you have to have a personal relationship with the one and only true God. Then Judaism and Christianity will part ways when it comes down to how to have a personal relationship with God. Allow me to explain. The Christian religion, we tie our faith into several Old and New Testament doctrine scriptures. But there is one scripture in particular that is very important when it comes down to talking about the Christian faith, and that's John 14:6. And John 14:6 says this. It says, and Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through me. And this is where Christianity and Judaism take a separate role trying to get to heaven. Now, although Christianity and Judaism teach some of the similar doctrine, there are some differences between the two. And the major difference between Christianity and Judaism is this. Number 1, the belief of who Jesus Christ was. And number 2, the doctrine of the Trinity. This is what draws the line in the sand between the two. So just a brief history. According to Christians, Jesus Christ is the fulfillment of the Old Testament prophecies of the coming Messiah. However, according to Judaism, on the contrary, they only recognize Jesus as a good teacher and maybe a prophet of God. But to them, he was not, and I repeat, to them, he was not the Messiah according to their interpretation of the scriptures. Then we have the doctrine of the Trinity. And a lot of people always ask this question: how did the Christian church come up with the doctrine of the Trinity? Because the word Trinity is mentioned nowhere in the Bible. But one of the most important things to remember about the process of canonization, that's how we got our 66 books of the Bible, that from the beginning of the birth of the church to where they started having different venues of the church throughout history, there was about 20 or so books that were known beyond any doubt to have their roots in the eyewitness testimonies of the apostles. And these are the writings that reflect some of the most essential truth about who Jesus was, what he did, and what he said. And not only that, but what happened to him before, during, and after the crucifixion. See, the Christian church embraced the letters of Paul's teaching, and soon after that, at least one or two of John's letters, and then the Gospels were written to preserve the totality of Jesus' ministry while he was here on earth. And to me, the most authentic gospel is Luke's gospel, because Luke interviewed key eyewitnesses before he penned his gospel and before he penned the book of Acts. So again, Christianity believes that Jesus was God incarnated in human flesh in the person of Jesus Christ, God the Son, and he was crucified, he was buried in a tomb, and rose on the third day. He was seen by many to authenticate his resurrection, and now sits by the right hand of the Father, waiting to return to earth in lieu of his final judgment for the sins on the earth. So now, I'm going to kind of stop right there, because what I want to do next is I want to take a couple of lessons and walk you through a brief synopsis of church history so that we can learn and know how we came up with some of these doctrines, such as the Trinity, and why there's so many sects or denominations of churches, and how did the Pope become so important in Roman Christianity. So this is what I want to do next. This is what I want you to do next for me, excuse me. I want you next week to stop by my YouTube channel, Fellowship Ministries. First of all, I want you to subscribe, and then click on that next episode of Can I Get a Witness? And I will see you then. God bless you.